Coming up on the county line, a new store opens in New Wilmington, claiming to have a little bit of everything.
Plus, the science fair comes to town, and I'll have the details on what keeps these kids thinking on their toes. And our on-the-road team enjoys the spring weather with a visit to Cascade Park in Newcastle.
That's right, and then coming up after that, we will take a look at one local artist who used wood and a saw to create his masterpieces. We're live.
We're local.
The county line starts now. Westminster passes the torch on a nearly 20-year-old tradition. Good evening. I'm Elizabeth Barry. Welcome to the County Line.
And I'm Mike Walensky. 2 weeks ago, nearly 900 middle school and high school students competed in the annual Science Olympiad. And Westminster College has hosted the event for a long time, but decided that this would be their last year. Instead, they'll put more focus on their Science in Motion program, which is a mobile science lab that visits local schools. But regardless of where the Science Olympians compete, the important thing is the life skills that the competition teaches them. It was a rainy day in Lawrence County, but competition was still rolling on at the Science Olympiad. One event known as the Scrambler had students pushing eggs to the limit.
You put an egg out on the front, and then they tell you a certain distance that the wall is away, and you got to get as close to the wall as you possibly can without breaking the egg.
Today's magic number, 10 meters. And while these students have the day off from class, I'm not sure you can call it a vacation. They're busy with events such as the Scrambler.
And you have to have a braking system on the car, and you've got to propel it by a falling mass.
They're fast is one main objective.
But sometimes competition gets a little messy.
Broke the egg, got all over myself, and then finally I got the egg to stick out far enough and it worked.
We kind of had a problem with our weight falling into the tire.
It's about critical thinking and the ability to adapt.
A skill I have to be able to think on my feet to do a little MacGyver, see that, get some tips from him.
It's learning from your mistakes and doing better next time.
It moved. It's a start.
Well, I'm expecting to do better than last year when our control mechanism was 2 C batteries duct taped together.
Whether you win or lose, it's more than just a day off from school. It's hands-on learning and having fun.
Having fun. I'm a little nervous, though. It's interesting and gives me something to do.
It's always a lot of fun.
Just have fun, have a learning experience.
Well, Liz, you were at the science fair with me. It was great. Watching all those kids.
It was a lot of excitement from those young kids for science, which is a really great thing.
What was neat, they had these planned events, and they went in, this is what we're supposed to do. So they don't always work out for them, but they were able to adapt, and that's what really gets the program.
That's the best thing. I bet they learn a lot. That's really nice. Really nice.
Right.
Now, the suspect in the Gula Munda murder trial will stay in jail pending his trial. The Youngstown federal magistrate ruled today that 24-year-old Damian Bradford will not receive bail. Bradford is accused of the stalking death of the Hermitage Dr. Gula Munda, who was shot last May on the Cleveland Turnpike. Bradford is also romantically linked with Munda's wife.
Police blame a 15-year-old boy for setting fire to Sharon Mayor David Ryan's house over Easter weekend. The boy allegedly broke into the house while the mayor and his wife were out of town. The boy is accused of stealing several guns, jewelry, and CDs, in addition to setting fire to the living room. Police are charging the boy with arson, burglary, theft, receiving stolen property, and making terroristic threats.
Well, I am sure that the mayor of Sharon could use a little pick-me-up after such a weekend, and one local baker prides herself on making people happy with her cakes. The County Line's Aiden Miwat gets a sugar high as she introduces us to someone who's more than a baker. She's an artist.
It may not look like a bakery from the outside, but inside Beth's Cake and Candy, warm wishes and the smell of pure sugar fill the air. Beth, the owner of the store, says that she started her business in her basement, but soon had to relocate.
Someone that was going to contract the work said it would cost more to redo my basement than it would to build a building. Well, we already had built this, and I thought, well, we can't build another building up here, so I just decided to take half of the garage.
But don't think that Beth just takes everything that she wants.
And I even had to borrow $60 to buy a case of chocolate. From that case of chocolate until now, I've been working.
Beth makes birthday and wedding cakes, but she also makes chocolate creations. Now, this may look like deviled eggs, but it's actually made from solid chocolate. It's amazing to think that something like that started out as something as simple as this.
What's my favorite part? Well, it used to be a hobby. Now it's a job.
After 22 years in the business, Beth says that next year, when she turns 70, she's going to start thinking about retiring. But for now, from Lawrence County, I'm Aiden Miwa for the County Line.
Not everyone uses flour and eggs to create their artwork. One local artisan prefers wood and a saw. The County Line's Luke Garrett met up with Cowboy Rick to see how his masterpieces come to life.
My name's Rick Cox. They call me Cowboy Rick on the chainsaw system. I've been wood carving for 6 years. I did today a welcome sign that I carved. I do a lot of bears because bears sell. I sell about 20 bears to one of anything else. I do shows for a fee. I do shows for competition. I don't go out and just carve because I like to be there. Even though a lot is fun and I do enjoy it, I have to pay my expenses. I have to pay to eat. I enjoy the different things that come up on different pieces of wood. There's no two pieces the same. Every piece is different. You carve similar things, but I don't carve any two pieces the same, and I don't try to carve them the same because I don't want them to look the same. I have a log sitting out in my driveway right now. It's 5 foot across, 16 feet long. That I'm going to split down the middle, and I'm going to carve 2 horses. Mainly, I'm going to split it down the middle because it's too heavy. It weighs somewhere between 16 and 20 tons. My wife, Sue, is starting to help me more and more now. She's doing burning, she's sanding. She's even carved a bear a couple weeks ago. Now she's carving flowers. She's going to be carving benches and signs. She's going to be helping so that we can actually make a living this year doing this. So hopefully by the end of the year, she'll be able to quit her job that pays the bills now, and she'll be able to quit so she can come and we can work together. It's quite nice working together with your wife.
Wow, what a nice artwork. It's amazing the detail that he can get out.
Especially with a chainsaw, because when I think of a chainsaw, I think come in, cut down the tree, and
exactly, one swift cut.
No, he's got
amazing, it makes it right into art. Yeah.
It's pretty neat. The flowers, too, something that delicate.
The flowers were pretty too, definitely.
All right, well, still to come on the County Line, our on-the-road team makes a trip down memory lane at Cascade Park.
And if you're tired of having to go to multiple stores to get everything on your shopping list, we're going to tell you about one new store that could be the solution. That's coming up after the break.
Work, Mom.
Oh, don't you worry, I will. I love going to work and listening to my kind of music on Titan Radio.
That's right. Titan Radio brings you all the top hits of today, along with local news and sports. Commercial-free hit music on 88.9 FM Titan Radio, playing your kind of music.
Come on! This way!
Who is that guy?
I don't know! Hurry up! He's right behind us!
I know!
Come on, get up!
407 years ago.
Think history is a little scary? Then log on to LOC.gov and see how much fun it can be. The Library of Congress at LOC.gov.
Titan Radio. Check this out.
Not a big Limp Bizkit fan. Thought she'd get a hand on a member of Duran Duran.
Titan Radio. Commercial-free music 24/7.
On the radio. Springsteen, Madonna. Way before Nirvana, there was U2 and Blondie. Stop. 19. 1985.
Keeping my car regularly tuned helps reduce air pollution. And it also saves me money on gas and repairs. But it's not just about saving money. It's about what you do with it.
You're whack, sir. Environmental defense. Get green. Go to getgreen.com.
Our On the Road team takes a hike this week. Pam and Garrett took advantage of the gorgeous weather we've had to take a stroll in Newcastle through a one-time amusement park and attraction site, Cascade Park.
Spring weather finally starts to roll around.
So do the people here at Cascade Park in Newcastle. I'm Pamela Marlowe.
And I'm Garrett Horvath, and you're on the road.
Cascade Park was originally known as Big Run Falls back in the late 1800s.
But then it was later renamed to Cascade Park because of its beautiful scenery.
One of Cascade Park's 17 original amusement rides used to be housed here. But now people still have fun even though the rides have been taken down, including here at the bocce court.
Well, you can swing right over there with the kids, and they do horseshoes here, and it's a nice picnicking space.
Back in Cascade Park's early days as an amusement park, these steel beams are the steel beams that held up the roller coaster up and down the stream. Now they just stand here, reminding us where the roller coaster was.
It used to be an active amusement park. It used to get full of people.
A lot of people here?
A lot of people down here.
Well, Garrett, that was fun today, wasn't it?
Absolutely. I always enjoy a nice walk on a beautiful day in the park.
Well, we'll be back on our feet next week as we go on the road once again.
I'm Garrett Horvath.
And I'm Pamela Marlowe. We'll catch you next week.
Well, it looks like our On the Road team was really enjoying nature. And speaking of that, this Saturday is Earth Day, a holiday founded in 1970 to create environmental awareness. To commemorate Earth Day and next week's Arbor Day here at Westminster, students, faculty, and community members are planting trees. Director of the field station, Dr. Clarence Harms, is coordinating the effort to create a micro-forest of white oaks and American beeches. Harms says they've planted 975 trees in the past 9 years, but he hopes to reach 1,000 trees by this year. To help with the planting, simply show up at Westminster College's field station between 9 and 6 anytime next week, or contact Dr. Clarence Harms for more information.
It sounds like fun, Liz.
Yes. Actually, I got to go see them do it a little bit last week. It was a lot of fun. They were doing it through the week.
All right, on this week's County Close-Up, Catherine Larson talks with a couple of her furry friends and Lois Winters from the Lawrence County Humane Society.
That's coming up right after this.
All of your light and contemporary pop music. Without all the rap and hip-hop. Commercial-free, Titan Radio, digital 88.9 FM.
Have a nice day.
Titan Traverse. Check us out on the web.
What is that thing?
Looks like somebody's double chin. Must have lost it snacking on fruits and vegetables.
Somebody's gonna trip on that.
What do you got, little fella? What do you got there? Looks like someone's butt. And they must have lost it playing with their kids.
Well, it's spring, and that means it's puppy season. So joining us tonight on the County Close-Up is the director, or on the board of directors, I should say, of the Lawrence County Humane Society, Lois Winters. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Well, we were going to talk specifically today about the importance of spaying and neutering your animal. First of all, what I wanted to talk to you about is, why do you want to do this? Why is it so crucial?
First of all, the obvious reason. You want to eliminate the overpopulation problem. Millions and millions of puppies and kittens are born every year, and millions are euthanized in shelters because there just aren't enough homes. It also makes your pet much healthier. It prevents a lot of different cancers, and they're just much healthier and happier.
Is that why you then also, a lot of times you get a lot happier animal if you buy it from, or you get it from the shelter? Is that true?
Oh, absolutely. We have the best animals in the world. We really do. Shelter animals are so grateful. Sometimes they've had kind of a horrible past, or they've come in as strays, or perhaps people have adopted an animal and they just don't know how to take care of it, and they don't provide well enough for it, so they bring them into the shelter. We do have an open door policy, so all animals come into our shelter, and they're just so grateful when they get that loving home. They'll be your best friend forever.
One thing that you wanted to talk about specifically was that puppy lemon law, and why it's an important thing to be aware of, but why it's still another reason why you should always go to your Humane Society to get your animal.
Right. We have probably most of the animals that come into our shelter are mixed breeds. Some of the purebred dogs that you get from breeders or from a so-called puppy mill may have genetic problems. There is Pennsylvania has a puppy lemon law, whereby if you find that the animal has genetic problems, health problems, things like that, you can take it back to the breeder and get your money back. But generally, by the time you realize it has all these problems, you've invested a lot of money into it.
And you love the dog.
And you love the dog, exactly.
Right, why would you want to give it up?
And you don't want to give it up, and that's what these breeders are counting on, that you're not going to take the dog back to get your money back. But it is a law, and you can do that.
You can do it.
Yes, you can.
Speaking of another thing that you should and can do, is when you're spaying and neutering your animal, when's the best time to get it done?
In general, we like to say about 6 months of age. The males and the females can be spayed or neutered. You really don't need to wait till the dog comes in heat, because it's not a lot of people, one of the myths is that people say, well, they have to have a litter of puppies before you can spay them, and that's totally false. Because if you do that, then you've got 8 to 10 puppies that now you've got to find homes for. So it's, in general, we like to say get them spayed or neutered, especially spayed before they come into their first heat. It's not necessarily it's not necessary to go into heat, because then you run the risk of the dog getting pregnant, and there you are breeding unwanted animals.
Well, since you're here, I've always wanted to ask this. I have a little dog, and I never know what to go to buy him at the grocery store to eat. Do I get the Purina? Do I get the Hill Science dog food? Do I just get the real cheap generic brand? What's the best thing to get my dog?
You can go way to the top and get all the most expensive food, and that's fine. Right now I feed my dog just Purina dog chow. Good basic name brand food. Dad's dog food is good too. You want to kind of stay away from all the generic stuff because it doesn't have the quality of ingredients. You just basically want to watch what you're feeding them. You want to avoid all the artificial colors, artificial flavors, some of the little nuggets that are in there that have the red food dye in it. They can sometimes have a food allergy for that, and they'll start scratching and throwing up or things like that.
And that's not good.
No,
so what's the trick that you should always remember that to make sure your dog is eating the right food? The test. Isn't something about their pooping?
Oh, well, I didn't know if you wanted me to talk about that or not.
Because this is fascinating.
It sounds kind of gross, but if your dog is pooping a lot, that means that the food is going through and it's not really being absorbed, or the benefits of the nutrition is not helping your dog at all, and it's just going right through. So
Well, I think we've covered all the basics.
I guess
and if you want to get more information on puppies or adopting, you can go online to petfinder.com to get more information. Lois Winters, Thank you so much for coming with us from the Lawrence County Humane Society. Stay tuned for more County Close-Up and County Line after this. Thank you again.
May I help you, sir?
I found these over by the stairs.
Love handles. Lots of people lose them taking the stairs instead of the escalator. Thank you.
In Westminster's broadcasting program, we have live DJ shifts on Titan Radio, just as you would at a commercial station. We try to keep the station running as professionally as possible so that we all can have real-world experience.
As Titan Radio DJs, we like to get the listeners involved by running contests. One that comes to mind was when we gave away chicken soup.
I want my chicken soup.
I want chicken soup.
I want my chicken soup. Did I win?
Titan Radio studios are home to some of the latest broadcast quality equipment.
Having access to this type of professional equipment really helps me work on my skills on air and will ultimately help me get the job that I want.
Working at Titan Radio has given me the experience I need to get a job at the #1 station in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Titan Radio is more than just work in the studio. We get involved with live remotes in the community.
Down at Mardi Gras, Amy Sass is there.
Hey guys, what's up?
It's just a lot of fun being out there and talking with the public and getting them involved and excited about the music.
To find out how you can get on-air experience at Westminster College, log on to titanradio.net.
Titan Radio presents the true story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Goldilocks turned the first radio on. This is so loud, she said. She tried the next radio. This is too soft, she said. She tried the last radio, tuned in to Titan Radio. Ah, just right. Moral of the story, for commercial-free top music from the 80s till today, tune in to Titan Radio.
Hello and welcome to Titan Town Sports. I'm DJ Yoakley. Now, I'm no meteorologist, but I do know that it's been really warm lately, and the only thing hotter than the climate right now is the Westminster Athletic Program. Starting off with the track team, who continues to amaze people, the Titans went to Slippery Rock this past weekend to compete in an invitational meet and came out with much success against numerous Division I and II programs. Former Titan of the Week Adam Hadbavny posted wins in both shot and disc. Lady Titans were led by sophomore Jessica Cooper, who finished first in the high jump by leaping 5 feet 4 inches. Now, if you want to see these two in action, along with the rest of your favorite track stars, you can come down to Burry Stadium on Saturday for the Westminster Invite. Events are set to start at 11 a.m. Another warm front coming in is the golf team, who recently took part of the NBA Invitational hosted by Pac rival Grove City, and the Lynxers were as hot as a stove went in this match. Senior Gary McGovern shot a 73 and to finish third individually. The sophomore Jeff Skubik placed seventh with a 77. The team as a whole, however, finished with a 310 and victories over Grove City, Waynesburg, Bethany, Teal, and La Roche. Beating one team, that's okay, but beating 7, that's pretty impressive. The team returns to action Saturday at Allegheny to try their hand in the Gary Kuhn Invitational. A half hour, 30 minutes. That's how long this program is, and coincidentally, that's how long it took Westminster and the Allegheny to finish the single inning on Tuesday. The Gators put 4 on the board against Gary DeBaldo, but the Titans had a thunderstorm warning in effect with their bats, and the Gators should have ran for shelter because the good guys put up 10 runs in the first inning on their way to a 13-9 victory. 5 Titans having multi-hit games, including John Izzo, Ed DeRose, Don Kirkwood, Mark Francasio, and Donnie Womeldorf. The Titans return to action Saturday at home against Pac rival Bethany. First pitch is slated for 1 p.m. Now across the parking lot, those Lady Titans are having some success of their own. The ladies were in action last week against next year's newcomers to the Pac, St. Vincent. The game was scoreless until the 6th when Abby Mazar punched an RBI single and pitcher Jen Pancake slammed the door and the Lady Bearcats by firing a one-hitter. The nightcap was advantage St. Vincent until the 6th inning when all went wild. The Titans combined for 6 runs and a sweep of St. Vincent. Jen Pancake had 2 for 2 at the plate, and Maria Joseph was 2 for 3. And yet another great story is here at Westminster in the broadcasting department. Senior Jason Mackey is about to set sail on his new life in Washington, D.C. at WJLA Channel 7. Reporter Mike Walensky has a look at Jason's legacy here on campus.
And welcome to Buzz Riddle Gymnasium for the Titans and the Wolverines. Jason Mackey alongside Coach Jim Daffler for another night of Titan basketball. And Coach, we have to get back at it. Last time we were here, they got a win. Haven't won since. Why not? Let's go on TV again.
Noted
This is senior broadcast communications major Jason Mackey, and for the past 3 years, he's gone to just about every Titan football and basketball game where he goes live into the TVs of 75,000 homes.
I didn't like my math major that I came into school with, and I was looking through the course catalog, saw sports broadcasting, and figured I might be able to do it.
To make announcing the games a little bit easier, Jason does most of his work in advance.
Something actually people make fun of me for, I take a lot of heat for it, but I make flashcards of everybody's names when I'm doing play-by-play, and every single player on both rosters I create a flashcard for and memorize their numbers. Another thing I do is obsessive pregame research with stats and post-game articles from other games and just a ton of stats on each team. I'll create my own game notes just like Joel Anderico does, but just a ton of research.
Out of all the games he's announced, Jason has one favorite memory.
Most memorable game would have to be Grove City this year, with Brett Myers throwing the 14-yard touchdown pass to Brett Ziegler in the end zone to seal the victory. My girlfriend was up at that game. My parents were there. It was just a great atmosphere, and I absolutely loved it.
All right, 20 seconds left to play in this one. Titans looking for their first home win of the season. Myers from the shotgun to Brett Ziegler. 15.8 left on the clock. Brett Myers, a huge touchdown pass, 14 yards.
We got to watch. We don't want to get over.
Congratulations, Jason, on a great career here at Westminster. We wish you nothing but the best of luck in your future. That does it this week for Titantown Sports. There's plenty more County Line on the way.
Titan Radio Digital 88.9 FM, bringing you all your old school favorites and combining it with hot new releases of today. Commercial-free Titan Radio Digital 88.9 FM, the perfect mix of the greatest hits.
So nice out here.
Yeah, I used to come out here when I was a kid. Nothing.
No, I definitely heard something.
Look! Who's that?
Let's get out of here! What are you doing? Start the door!
Okay. He does?
Think history is a little scary? Then log on to LOC.gov and see how much fun it can be. The Library of Congress at LOC.gov.
What do you got there, Dave?
Looks like someone's thunder thighs.
They must have lost them playing in the snow with their kids. Let's get back to work.
Will the owner of a spare tire
please report to the press box to retrieve your appendage? They must have lost this parking further from the stadium and walking in.
New Wilmington has a variety of stores downtown, everything from hardware to groceries to drugs and coffee. But there's now a new store on the block that claims to be your one-stop shopping for all your random needs.
New Wilmington is becoming the host of a new store geared at the college community called Jumbo's. Owner Justin Bryan, more commonly known as Jumbo, says that it's something the town needs.
I'm trying to focus on a little bit everything that you kind of want in a college town, but you can never find in a college town.
But while it may seem biased towards the college community, with custom clothing for the Greek life on campus and other Westminster paraphernalia, Bryan says it's not just for the college community, but everyone in town.
But that's why I wanted to stock it with a lot of things other than just college, the fraternity and sorority things, with the gifts and the jewelry and the other clothing other than the fraternity wear.
Jumbo was a recent Westminster alumni, but his major was in theater. So what does he know about running a business here in New Wilmington?
Business is just kind of a thing that I've always had a little bit of a knack for. I mean, my parents have had their own business forever, and my grandparents as well as most of my other relatives have their own small businesses. So I've picked up, I think, a few tricks of the trade here and there from them, as well as being able to, I think I got that gene that just makes me incapable of being happy working for anybody else but myself.
Jumbo's will be open for business on April 20th and is located right next to the laundromat. In New Wilmington, I'm Aiden Miwa for the County Line.
That does it for us tonight on the County Line. Thanks so much for tuning in.
We'll see you next week. Good night.